The James Show Podcast.
Bill Maher of all people, stopped down on his show on Friday and had to have a chat with his side of the aisle. Now, when we talk about Team Blue, I often try and delineate. There's the true believers, and then there's the useful idiots. And then if you split down, if you allow me a little more nuance, within the true believers, the people who actually know what they believe, why they believe it, they've actually read books and studied. They can actually explain their positions, and it's not all emotional. There's a divide within Team Blue under that. And those are the people who are socialists and the people who are not, just to be oversimplified for the sake of discussion. Now, Bill Maher is not one. Bill Maher is a guy who's been a Democrat his whole life. He calls himself a liberal or a progressive or whatever flavor of Team Blue, but he is not down with the hyper woke stuff. He remembers just 20 years ago, the things that are being called hate crime and hate speech now is the position that Democrats used to have in their presidential candidates. Remember, Barack Obama, when he was elected, did not support legal gay marriage. We have reels of Democrats saying we need to close the border and illegal immigration is bad. He remembers that. So he gets a lot of credit. When I talk about, the Team Blue people who haven't lost their mind, he's one that comes to mind. Another one, Mark Cuban. But the ones that are off their rocker, the woke crowd, we're talking about the AOCs. We're talking about, I don't even know if I put Jasmine Crock in that crowd, but the Bernie Sanders, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and now Mom Donnie. And Mom Donnie just comes out straight up says, hey, I'm a socialist. This is great.
I am a democratic socialist.
That's him at his victory speech after he won. Now, democratic doesn't change anything about his economic policies that have been proven to fail every time they've been tried in history. Oh, you just put democratic in front of it and all of a sudden it becomes okay. It's not the same failed policies that we saw all over the 20th century and then rolling into the 21st century. So I just think it means so much more when this argument comes from someone who's on Team Blue. Because of course I'm going to say it. Of course you're going to say it. People on Team Blue will be like, yeah, you're going to criticize anything that guy does. But when Bill Maher says it, they need to listen. This was Friday.
Because socialism, to put it simply, just doesn't work and has never worked. Kids think that stuff that happened before their appearance on the planet didn't really happen, but it did. We've run this experiment many times, and the results are always obvious. Here's capitalist South Korea at night from space. Here's socialist North Korea. Yeah. In 1990...
Sorry about that. Somebody said a bad word. So we will go to John Ingham. You can hear him on WBAP on the weekends here. John, we were just lamenting the Cowboys. They're playing the Raiders tonight. I like their odds to win this game, but I'm running out of care for the rest of this season, John.
Well, and that's natural, James. And I think that you should probably, because I don't see the only way that they're going to get in the playoffs is win 6 or 7 of their next game. And that's not going to happen. So I do expect them to play better tonight. I think they're going to be riding an emotional high after the loss of Marshawn Nealon. I think with the new players coming in and with Agent Zero, the fan favorite, DeMarvion Overshown coming back, I expect the defense to be better, but it was such a low bar to begin with, James. I think there's a lot of people that feel the same way that you do. And this season may be done, but I do see room for improvement. And, if you're a diehard like me, I'm just going to try to look for what's good. And, like I told you from day one, the best thing for them is to win 4 or 5, maybe 6 games at the most, get a better draft pick, and then look towards next year.
Wait, why'd you call DeMarvion Overshown Agent Zero?
Because he's wearing 0. He'll be the first player in Dallas Cowboys history that will ever wear 0. He wore that at the University of Texas and wanted to for the last couple of years. The first years he was 35. Last year he was 13. And now he's going to be the first Cowboy to ever wear 0. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool. I keep an eye on him because he's from
ARP.
Yeah, and that's not where I went to high school, but that's where I got my mail from growing up. Bug tussle is a whole weird scenario. So, yeah, I'm excited because no one from my zip code has ever done anything with their life, myself included.
Well, Bug tussle, we've talked about the Cannonball Express and all the girls that were in Petticoat Junction, and all that. But they did well, and DeMarvin certainly is. I mean, he's such a great guy, and he's down to earth, and he still hasn't lost touch with those East Texas roots. I can tell you that.
No, and being from such a small town, I know people who know him or his parents, and everyone says nice things about him. There's other people from sort of that area, like Patrick Mahomes is from White House, which is kind of between Bug Tussle and Hooterville. Everyone says nice things about him and his parents. Of course, the big name if you go to the big city where I'm from, Tyler, that's home to Earl Campbell.
Campbell.
Rose.
The Tyler Rose.
Yeah, we never shut up about him, so.
No, nor should you.
All right, so you think they're going to win tonight? Because, not only do I think they're going to win, this is one of the few teams that I think we match up well against. I looked into a little bit of the Raiders, and I think we might have a big win tonight.
I predicted a big win simply because, the Cowboys have lost 2 in a row. The Raiders have lost three in a row. So somebody's got to win the game, and I think it's going to be Dallas in a big, big way because, the Dallas offense is doing really well, but the defense ranks 31st. Well, conversely, the Raiders offense ranks 31st. And so advantage Dallas there. And so I think that the Cowboys, especially with the emotional high that they're going to be on, I think Dallas is going to win. It's only a 3.5-point line, and I think Dallas wins by double digits easily.
Good Lord. Okay, so John Ingham, coming up next, we're playing Dead or Alive, and today's category is running backs. Who is your top running back of all time?
Wow, probably Jim Brown.
Yeah, you know what? That's about what I would say. Okay, so why not a Walter Payton or Barry Sanders or Emmitt Smith?
Well, I mean, Walter Payton is right there with him. Barry Sanders is probably the most dynamic football player of all time. He was just stuck on those bad teams. People don't want to talk about OJ anymore, but he was really good too, talking about being stuck on bad teams. And so those guys are really good. Emmitt was fantastic. I love Emmitt, but I think Emmitt was a product of his offensive line, maybe the best offensive line in the history of the league. So I hate to say it, but I can't put Emmitt up there. But, I mean, Jim Brown was big. He was fast. He was strong. He had it all. And so I think that he was probably the guy. But I love me some Sweetness growing up, for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much. There's John Ingham. You can hear him on the weekends on WBAP, and we'll talk to you soon. Probably be sports related again. Thank you, John.
Sounds good. Thank you, James.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jovi. Welcome to Dead or Alive. Today's edition, thank you. Today's edition is running backs. That's today's category. And today's prize, we're playing for a $50 gift card to Eatsy's Market and Bakery. Discover Eatsy's, a European-style market and bakery offering chef-crafted meals, daily specials, fresh bread, pastries, more. I like eating there, but I really like it when the boss brings for Eatsy's when we have one of those meetings where everyone's got to show up and there's going to be sandwiches or this is what a Christmas party counts as in 2025 or whatever. Love it. All right, so to the phones we go. Well, there's no women who want to guess on the mortal situation of our favorite running backs. This is Brian in Plano. Hey, Brian, you're starting us off on Dead or Alive. You ready?
I'm ready.
How confident are you in your knowledge of running backs, Brian?
Well, sometimes I think I'm pretty good at this game, and then I fell drastically. So we'll see.
I appreciate the humility. All right, we'll start with an easy one. Quite possibly the greatest running back of all time, Jim Brown, dead or alive.
Oh, man, that's the one I'm thinking about. He is alive.
Dead. Sorry, Brian and Plano. I appreciate it. All right, this is Lance and Brock. You ready for Dead or Alive?
Yep.
All right, so Jim Brown's dead. What about probably the second best running back of all time, Walter Payton, dead or alive?
Walter, dead.
Yes, Walter Payton is dead. Emmitt Smith, dead or alive?
Live.
Eric Dickerson, dead or alive?
Live.
Barry Sanders, dead or alive?
Barry Sanders.
Yeah, you know, Oklahoma State fan?
He's alive.
He is alive. Larry Zonka, dead or alive?
Dead.
No, he's still alive. I mean, he's old as hell, but he's still alive. Thank you very much, Lance. Mark, Midlothian, you ready for Dead or Alive?
Yes, sir.
All right. The team that won the first Super Bowl's Green Bay. Their starting running back, his name's Jim Taylor. Is he dead or alive?
Dead.
Franco Harris from the Steelers that kicked our butts all over the place. Dead or alive?
He passed away. He's dead.
Yeah, just recently, too.
Mm-hmm.
The most famous person from Bug Tussle, Earl Campbell. Dead or alive?
Excuse me?
Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell's very much alive. Tyler Rose.
Yes, sir. And thank you for saying that. That means so much to those of us from Bug Tussle. It's the only way y'all have ever even heard of our town. And finally, this is Mark and Midlothian's favorite running back, O.J. Simpson, dead or alive?
He is dead.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Mark and Midlothian, thank you very much for playing. You have won a $50 gift card to Eatsy's Market and Bakery. Discover Eatsy's, a European-style market and bakery offering chef-crafted meals, daily specials, fresh bread, pastries, and more. Dude, they have great sandwiches, and they have really, really good cookie cakes. So if you're going to spend your $50, I recommend one of those two options, sir. Thank you. That's Mark and Midlothian. Hang on. One of the Garretts in there will get your information, and we'll make sure you get that gift card. Who wants to hear Trump make fun of windmills? It's the James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. I am your host, James Parker. Now, I want to stress that we're not playing this just so we can dunk on it, like, yeah, Trump was mean to someone and isn't that funny? The point of this soundbite and the point of this lesson that I'm trying to get more people to absorb here is that this doesn't just apply to windmills. This is an economic reality that happens across the spectrum in other industries as well. Because look, you're right about the windmills. When the whole windmill experiment was getting geared up and, 20 years ago or so when they were saying, let's start subsidizing windmills, we need to switch to windmills. Now, the free market didn't like windmills because it wasn't reliable. It was expensive. Coal and natural gas and hydroelectric and nuclear and just about every other avenue was cheaper to create energy other than windmills. And we were saying, look, you can build these all you want, but it's not going to work. You're going to have to continually subsidize it, and you're going to be very disappointed with the results. So here they didn't listen to you. They built them anyway. They have terrible results. But the lesson here isn't that we should dunk on them. Ha ha, we were right, you were wrong. The lesson is, these other economic arguments that we're having right now, the same thing applies. Our predictions versus their predictions. Our predictions on what would make medical costs go down, what would make your health care costs go down, what would make your health insurance premiums go down. We're having that discussion right now. Some people are saying more subsidies, aren't they? That's what this whole shutdown thing was about. We need to extend the Obamacare subsidies. We got to extend the Obamacare tax credits subsidy. Has it worked ever before? Did it work for electric cars? You realize we've been subsidizing electric cars for 20 years now. And what are we, like 3% of cars out there are electric? After we spent trillions of dollars subsidizing it, 3% is all you got. So the point isn't that windmills are bad. It's that government subsidies are bad. And actually, to be more positive about it, the free market is a better approach than government subsidies. The free market gets it right when government subsidies do not. In fact, if it was a good technology, you wouldn't have to subsidize it. I think that is the ultimate lesson here. But now that we have all that set up, let's hear Trump make fun of windmills. He's talking to some journalist from the Great Britain, GB this morning or whatever the show is, but he's talking about Scotland specifically and UK generally.
And you're destroying your country with windmills all over the place. I mean, I fly over Scotland and I fly over parts of the UK in helicopter a lot. And I'm looking down and I see these gorgeous fields being destroyed by windmills. The most expensive energy you can get. It's intermittent because if it's not windy, you don't even get it. But to put up those things means you lose millions of dollars every time you put up a windmill. You lose millions of dollars because they don't make money, they lose money. You're supposed to make money with energy. And you're putting up windmills all over. You're killing all the birds, by the way. They're ugly as hell. They make noise. They're very unsafe. And they produce, every time that thing goes around, it loses money.
And some people say, well, I mean, the profit motive shouldn't run everything. Yeah, it should, actually. Profit motive has its flaws. It's not perfect, but it's definitely proven itself to be better than letting politicians control such decisions. But look at how many times this happens. How many times we get to a fork in the road and there are predictions made. Your predictions turn out to be correct. Their predictions turn out to be wrong. but they don't let go of them. This is all based kind of on climate change, when you talk about electric cars and windmill technology and solar and other things like that are subsidized. But this isn't, stuck with just the carbon footprint type stuff. I mean, this is kind of thinking applies to DART trains, applies to bike paths, it applies to health care, it applies to just about anything that they want to subsidize. Remember when they were subsidizing ethanol? I remember this was a flare-up that happened at the beginning of my radio career because, I don't know, that's when I became more coherent than ever and just started absorbing everything. As we were being told that, hey, we've got to get off this evil fossil fuel, and we have this stuff, ethanol, that works just as good, and it comes from corn, which is renewable, unlike fossil fuels, which isn't renewable, and it's a finite resource, and this isn't. So we're going to be switching over, and we'll just speed up the process that'll naturally happen for us to switch over by subsidizing it in the meantime. Did we ever switch over? No. But you could say the same thing for electric cars. You could say the same thing for solar panels. You could say the same thing for windmills. You can say the same thing for DART trains. You can say the same thing for bike paths. You can say the same thing for health insurance. All these government subsidies, when have they ever worked? There are great historical rundowns on when we first got the steamship industry in America. The steamship industry, had gotten a head start in Britain. Britain before anyone else started doing fun things with water vapor, water steam. And so we thought, if Britain has monopolized this industry where they get to go back and forth carrying our people and our stuff and our mail and our cargo across the Atlantic, we need to get in on this. And our Congress subsidized it. It failed. Cornelius's subsidized steamship company failed, but Mr. Vanderbilt's succeeded. The subsidized attempt to build the Transcontinental Railroad failed, was it 2 or 3 times? And then it was finally accomplished in earnest by a guy in the private sector using his own money, or, using the borrowed money from some of his other evil, rich capitalist pigs. They call them robber barons now, so they sound awful, even though they're not. So that's the real lesson here. It's just fun to hear them make fun of windmills right to their face. But it's also kind of embarrassing, because I don't know if you've ever driven to El Paso or Lubbock or whatever, but we got windmills all over this state. And it's one of the reasons why you look back and you're like, all right, Rick Perry, Greg Abbott, you guys were in favor of this? This all happened under your watch. Most of it, all of it happened under the watch of these last 2 guys. But y'all are still pro windmill after all this? What the heck's going on with y'all? So can we just learn the lesson and just admit the market's better than politicians at picking the technology of the future? And they need to stop wasting your money forcing the issue, because it never works out, does it? Weird Al Yankovic is coming to town. He's going to be at Dickies Arena September 25th. Special guest Puddle's Pity Party. It's his Bigger and Weirder 2026 tour. Get tickets and information at livenation.com, or you can listen to the WBAP Morning Show this week to find out how you can win a pair of tickets from our morning show crew. So just another reason to go check them out and give them a listen when you have a chance. So, yeah, and that applies for all the shows. Love the morning show. Love Casey. Love Mark Lee Van Camp and Robbins that come on right before me. Of course, I love me. Mark Levin's on after that. So stick around for the whole day if you got a chance. If you need more James Show action in the meantime, now that the show's over, I'm about to get out of here and go put up the podcast. Check it out, WBAP.com, WBAP app. I'm James Parker. This has been The James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP.
The James Show Podcast.